And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know what episode number this is. After a little bit of a break, uh, we took a week or so off. Malcolm was traveling, but we're back and we are ready to get into it. First and foremost, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at scam_podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening to it on iTunes or Spotify or wherever, come to YouTube, subscribe to our channel. 2 words, Scam Podcast. Thank you again for everybody subscribing, everybody downloading. Fantastic couple of weeks, even though we only had one episode the last 2 weeks. Right at the top, we should talk about our fans in Portugal.
Yeah.
So for the first time, for the first time ever, we were on the charts on iTunes in anywhere. It was in Portugal. So thank you for that. We do appreciate it. Unfortunately, we can't see our iTunes download, so I have no idea how many people download on Apple products, but apparently we have a shitload of people in Portugal that listen to the show, so thank you so much. We haven't got any people email in from Portugal, so email us at podcastgame@gmail.com.
Yeah, I got some Portuguese in my family too on my dad's side, so
there you go. Those are your people. Yeah, those are your people. Maybe that's why they like the show so much.
Yeah, I think they're from the Azores Islands. They're all fishermen.
Nice.
Oh, and I just switched.
Yep.
Accidentally.
Anyways.
Right? Yeah.
So what's going on with you, Malcolm? What's new? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Not shit right now. I just wish I could fucking hear you better, but whatever.
I hope my volume's not too low.
I don't know. Not shit. Trying to start a new business with the old lady.
Yeah.
Little under the radar of the government. So I have all kinds of permits and shit. We'll see how it goes.
Have you been playing the stock market? You invested in GameStop?
No. I did buy a little AMC, but I'm all roads lead to Bitcoin. So
yeah,
I'm already there.
Like we'll get into a little bit about that in a little bit. First things first, let's get into some emails. We have some emails to clean up here and read that we've had for about 2 weeks now. So I've been sitting on. So again, if you want to email us like these lovely people, podcastgame@gmail.com. Let's start with this one because this one's a relevant current event. Hey guys, circling back to earlier in the year when you touched on Brady versus Belichick. Now that Brady is in the Super Bowl, how different do you look at this, and who do you think was more important to the Patriots dynasty? Brian from Vermont. So let me start with this one because I read this earlier and it has been.
I've been a lifelong Patriots fan, but no, you got to start.
Well, I mean, my team's is your team in the Super Bowl? My team's in the Super Bowl. I don't know about you, but
okay. Your first time with Brady. All right.
Yeah. This has been something that's been in the news a little bit. Obviously, it's highlighted a little bit more now that Brady's in the Super Bowl. I know what your take's going to be, so this is what I'll say. Regardless of how good of a coach in any sport, regardless of how good of a coach is in any sport, it's the players that make the passes, the catches, the tackles, the players that make the shots. You know, in basketball, it's the players that make the passes. You know what I mean? The players have to execute. Regardless, you have the perfect scheme with the best coach, and if the players don't execute or the players don't have the talent level that can make those plays, then it doesn't matter. So,
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's always the players. But to the second part of the question, who is more important to the dynasty? It equal share. I think that you don't go to 9 Super Bowls and win 6 without both of those guys or someone to Brady's level.
Not only that, I mean, where did Brady learn everything? Belichick.
Correct. So I think that who is more important? I mean, Belichick had some years before Brady. He didn't win the Super Bowl as a head coach. You know, he had a few rings with the Giants. I guess I would give the Belichick a little bit,
or offensive coordinator or something.
Defense coordinator, I believe, for the Giants. And he did take the Browns to the playoffs. So I mean, he wasn't like he was terrible, and then Brady came along. Yeah. Well, the Browns. Oh,
it's a shit joke.
Yeah, I got you. So I would say it's 50-50. Maybe you give a little bit of an edge to Belichick. But I will say that before this season, I was my opinion was that it was mostly Belichick, and that Brady just made it easier for him because, you know, Belichick has to coach the defense. Brady's just one guy. But as this season's played out, it to me feels like, yeah, if you got a player, let's say Brady's an A+, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you put in a B caliber quarterback, that's not happening. They're not going to 9 Super Bowls. You know what I mean? So I think that it's more equal than I realized going into the season. How do you feel about it?
I think Brady took the cake. I mean,
yeah,
they're 1 year apart, and he's about to go to Super Bowl, and Belichick didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, but to be fair, and we touched on this in our preview of the season. Half of the fucking Patriots defense opted out. You leave them with no quarterback, and this is where I think is even more credit to Brady. That team fucking sucked on offense this year. And it's the same team as last year. They have no weapons on offense. And Brady took them to the playoffs and won the division last year with that same offense. And really, if Antonio Brown doesn't get kicked off the team, they might have went on a run again last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way, you're like, well, because Brady's numbers this year were significantly better. But, obviously they have the stacked offense in Tampa. And a system that likes to throw the ball and get more time possession for the offense and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's how you feel now. You feel that Brady was more important than Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so without Belichick, you don't get as many rings.
Yeah.
If Brady's on another team, he's gonna get some rings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It's just like the perfect marriage, but at the same time, it's like, Brady's getting the alimony, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you look back at their Super Bowls, right? Of the 9 Super Bowls, 2 of the losses to the Giants, I would blame on the coaches because they just didn't have a good game plan in those games to offset that defensive line. And then in the second game, they couldn't stop Eli Manning. Brady can't do nothing about that. Even Giselle, his wife, even said after the game, remember, Welker dropped that pass, and she's like, my husband can't throw it and catch it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I mean,
but then on the other side, in some of those games they won, like the Malcolm Butler pick, that's not Tom Brady. You know what I mean? He didn't do that, so.
That's why you got to give Belichick a lot of credit on the defensive and general manager side, because I mean, how many fucking players came through there and you're like, no, you can't let him go. Nah, see you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Year.
And despite the fact that he's terrible at drafting, he can't draft a fucking wide receiver or a skill player to save his life.
It's so horrible.
But on the defensive side of the ball, he gets it right pretty much every time. He just picks those guys in like the 3rd and 4th round. And then like Jamie Collins, Dante Hightower was, I think, a 1st-round pick, but late. And those guys
linebackers, and they've always been able to get the number 1 corner in the league.
Yeah.
At some point they get
Gilmore,
Ty Revis, Gilmore, Asante Samuel, if you didn't drop that fucking pick.
That's another one. See, that's what I'm saying. So you can't put all the losses. The only one that you can really blame is the Eagles one. Brady didn't play. He played good. He had a lot of yards.
But 600 yards of offense.
I know. But also he had chances in that game too. He missed a guy, and I recently watched the 20-minute version of the game. He missed Gronk in the end zone on one, and he made some bad decisions on interception, and then on top of that, the fucking defense couldn't stop a fucking nosebleed. They get 44 points. So I mean,
now if Brady's like a basketball player, I mean, he'd probably win the championship every year.
Yeah, it'd be like LeBron. Yeah,
the elements are there's way less people to worry about. It's all on the player. It's not on the coaches and the player.
Yeah. So one last note on this. Because we're going to talk, we have our Super Bowl picks coming up in a few days. We'll talk more about the Super Bowl that the Bucs are playing in. But one thing I wanted to mention here, before we jump off into something else, I think this game, legacy-wise, is a lot more important than people realize. Hear me out now. So if Brady wins this game and beats Mahomes, right? I'm sorry, if Mahomes goes out and beats Brady in this game, right? I think Mahomes only needs 6 rings to pass Brady, because I think that Mahomes is going to break all the yards records and touchdown records if he can stay healthy, because he's just at such a crazy pace, right? If he wins this one.
So much part of that.
Yeah, for sure. But if he wins this one, right, and they both finish with 6, you got to give it to Mahomes, right? It's like, yeah, you beat him in the Super Bowl, even though Brady was 43. That 20 years from now, you're gonna be like, well, they both have 6, and he beat him in the Super Bowl, so the edge goes to Mahomes. Now, if Brady wins, that's gonna make it extremely difficult for Mahomes to ever catch him because then he'll need 8. Because if Brady wins and gets his 7th, and then Mahomes gets 7 eventually, that's not gonna.
Yeah, but like, Mahomes Brady do 7 and 7, you know.
Probably not. No, probably not. But if they do, if Mahomes finishes with, let's just say Brady wins this game and then Mahomes finishes with 7, you're going to be like, yeah, but fucking Brady beat him at 43. So then Mahomes is going to need 8, you know? So really, I think this game is very important. Not, immediate right now, even if Brady loses this game, it's not like.
And not only that, I think Mahomes is going to go through a coaching change in the middle of his career.
Because Reed might die.
Old as fuck.
Yeah. Well, and again, one last point and we'll move on. But I did hear about something about Andy Reid a few years ago. He was going to retire. And then Mahomes fell in his lap and he's like, I'll stick around for a few more years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
70 something.
Yeah, he's old. He was old when he was coaching the Eagles. He had been a coordinator for the Packers and I think the Seahawks for a long time. And then got the head coaching with the Eagles. And then he was already in his 50s at that point. So he's got to be in his 70s.
Well, I bet you I didn't even think about this. This is a real grudge match for Andy Reid.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, yeah, I guess so. Because 2002, we beat them to go to the Super Bowl, and then Brady beat him in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, the year before, or the year after, sorry. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll talk more about the Super Bowl on our episode on Wednesday. Let's keep going with the emails. Thank you. That was Brian from Vermont. I'm assuming he was a Patriots fan. So thank you, Brian.
So did you hear about Screech?
We'll get to that. I have that written down. So, all right. So this one's all right. So we have 2. We have one that's a story that someone submitted, and the other one is a question. So should we do the question first?
Let's do the question first.
Okay. This one says, you guys said you were roommates in college. What was the most broke moment you ever had? Like so broke you rolled pennies for ramen noodles, etc. And on the flip side,
I had that option.
On the flip side, what is your purchase in life that was the biggest waste of money? So this person didn't have to put their name on the email. So the most broke moment you ever had and what your biggest waste of money?
Broke moment, easily selling my plasma to go out and drink. Fuck ramen.
Yeah,
ramen's easy. I mean, that's got to be the brokest moment. But I felt more rich, so to speak. Back then
I was about to say,
that I do
$50 in my pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Brokest moment. Yeah, probably something like that. Or like, there were times where it was legit making like mayonnaise sandwiches and shit like that, but like, I think that it's so crazy because like now, like you have a little bit of money in the bank, bills are paid, you have money if something goes terribly wrong, and it's a little bit harder to get that motivation to I guess go out and grind is what I would say. So when you're broke, like down and out for the count, man.
I worked all the way through college, so I always had I was just always at the same level, and everybody's broke around you, so you don't feel broke. You're just
exactly.
Still going out, still drinking, still getting laid here and there. Pretty good life.
Yeah, college.
Now you have all this shit, and you're like, I could lose it all.
Yeah. Well, that's also true. Like college broke is different because you can have a good time with $10, or something like that. Yeah. And then like when now, there's a difference if you're 40 and broke, because
not only that, I was taking out tons of student loans. All right.
True.
Let me tell you something. I'll be paying them till I'm dead.
Hey, unless your boy Joe Biden comes through with the loan forgiveness, we'll see.
Joe Biden can't remember yesterday.
Yeah, where are these $2,000 stimulus checks? They said we're going to be out the door as soon as these.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah,
you vote for Oscar, $2,000 checks immediately.
Yep, and now it's $1,400, and they still haven't even gotten them out. So, I did see some people.
You ever see like an old person walking really slow because they're just so fucking old? It's like Joe Biden going to deposit your $2,000 check.
Just taking his time. He doesn't want to break his hip. Well, I did see some people online talking about that their banks were sending them emails letting them know that to be ready for that coming in the next few weeks. So we'll see what happens.
That shit ain't coming. They got to deal with the fucking impeachment, whatever.
Yeah, I think the 1400
Whatever's
will
going on with that.
probably get here by the end of February. And on the flip side, what purchase in life of yours was the biggest waste of money?
Biggest waste of money. Huh.
You had a tough one with this one too.
But no, when I first started working in the oil field, I bought a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
Oh, just go out in a weekend, spend $5,000. Just never
Yeah.
made that kind of money, just blowing it left and right.
Yep. Same for me with the.
I could say the dumbest purchase is always on lap dances. I always leave there. I always leave there upset. Yeah, like I've been robbed. You know, it's almost like you buy something, you open the box, and it's not even in there.
Yeah, wait a minute, what? Wait, I can't return it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I sometimes I feel that way with like vacations. Like it's cool to have the memories and shit, but then after it's like I paid that much for that. You know, like
see, traveling and vacation is different.
Yeah.
So when I went traveling, I spent about fucking $30,000 in 8 months, but
yeah,
best time of my life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. I mean, you met your wife there. I mean, that's a whole different. I meant more so like you know, you go on these like for example, I went to the in 2018. I went to the World Series. I went to 2 games in the World Series, and like the tickets were not fucking cheap. And not only that, like that part I was fine with. Like spending the money to see the World Series was a once in a lifetime thing at Fenway Park. That was fantastic. It was like looking at my bank statement when I got back. Like I spent how much on beer and food, and like gee, like it was more expensive than the fucking tickets. And it's like, geez.
Now I can tell you the best purchase of my life. And
is it the toilet?
No. That's a close second. But it was this $60 mannequin on Amazon. Because what I would do is when I worked in North Dakota, there was a shop and there was this bathroom. And I'd dress it up in full like work garb and I'd put it behind the door. And dude, the looks on people's faces, I almost killed this old man. Because he so you walk in, it was like behind the door on the right, and the urinal's to the left. And he's like, yeah, I went in there, you know, I start peeing. I feel like somebody's looking at me. He turned around and scared the shit out of him, dude. And then one time I ended up back at the house and me and our buddy Anthony, it was like this running thing, dude. Like you put it in front of somebody's door, they wake up in the morning, it's this fucking 6 foot man. It scares the shit out of you, dude, because it's huge. Yeah. That's some of the best money I've ever spent.
What gave you that idea? Like, how did you even think of that?
I don't know, dude. Just in North Dakota, there's a lot of downtimes. You're just sitting there on Amazon. And I was like, I'm gonna buy this fucking mannequin and dress it up in work clothes. One time I seen I was there late, and the cleaning people were in there. This black kid goes in there and he cleans the bathroom. He comes out. I was like, did he get you? He goes, man, that thing scared the fucking shit out of me. One time I scared the boss, and he's like, yo, get this thing out of here. I'm like, all
right. Speaking of scaring the shit out of you, so I have the two bulldogs, and the older one, he's 4. The other night, it's like 1 a.m. They're both dead asleep. The older one's having like one of those dreams that dogs have where they're like running. Yeah, exactly. The little one wakes up, he like hears him. He goes over there and he's like sniffing him. He's like right on top of him. And the big dog like wakes up and just grabs him by the throat and flips him and is like about to kill him. So I had to jump up and I'm separating them, right? Like
was your dog in Nam or what?
Right? He's having war flashbacks. So I like grab him. I'm worried he's gonna bite me, and like I'm pulling him up, and he like realizes like he's like, oh shit, this like everything's okay. So I put him down on the ground, and then I look, and the little dog's like kind of shaking. So I move him, and there's piss all over the couch. Literally scared the piss out of him. So
I'm just picturing, what was that movie like Max or something about that dog in Iraq or something? I'm just picturing it with a fat bulldog.
Yeah, what was that movie? Because funny story about that movie is, I was on a cruise one time, and I don't know if have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah.
So they play like the same like movie, like they like 3 movies or whatever, the entire cruise on like one of the channels.
Yeah.
And every time I turn that fucking channel, it was that same stupid dog movie, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I kept seeing these scenes, and I was like, why is this a fucking movie? It's like doesn't make any sense. It's just a dog. Yeah. And the people are acting,
too, I think.
I know, and they're making it seem like this dog was essential to winning the war in Iraq. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Gotta push that propaganda, bud.
I guess so. Speaking of that, they're about to make. I don't know if you saw. They're making that. They're making 2 movies and a TV show on Netflix about this GameStop shit.
You don't want your dog to go to war? You not support the troops? Like what?
That's true. That's true. All right. Thank you for your email, whoever, someone that you didn't put your name, but thank you for the email. All right, so this is the last one. This is a pretty good one. This is a nice little story here, a little story time. So it says, I know you guys usually get emails about crazy sex stories, but I have a crazy drug story I wanted to share with your listeners. About 6 years ago, I was with a large group at Bonnaroo. We went in fully expecting to have a long few days of drinking and doing drugs. At the time, I had never taken Molly before. And by the way, we don't condone doing drugs. I mean, we probably do, but we don't officially condone or the use of illegal drugs.
Not ruining your life.
There you go. So he never taken Molly before. At the time, I'd never taken Molly before, and I wasn't a very experienced drug user, but was with a girl who wanted to try Molly together. So I said, fuck it, why not? The first few hours, I was having the time of my life. But at some point or another, one of our friends said he found some acid and wanted us to take it with him.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when he said he found some acid, I assumed he meant he found someone and bought it off of them. Later, I found out he actually found it on the ground and assumed it was acid. A very important detail he forgot to mention. Anyways, I was feeling fantastic and said, fuck it. Big mistake.
I don't think it was he forgot to mention. I think you didn't ask enough questions.
Yeah,
I mean, he said he found it.
Yeah, he told the truth, right? So he says, big mistake. I completely blacked out. I don't remember much. I instantly teleported and woke up in our tent. 2 days had passed. All I kept hearing about was how crazy I was. Apparently, one night I took off all of my clothes and burned them in our campfire, hooked up with some old chick one night, and spent one night in the woods. No recollection of any of that at all. I have no idea how it did. I didn't end up dead, but I survived, and since my body clearly can't handle it, I never took hard drugs again. Ha. Keep up the good work. Loving the podcast.
Sounds like acid.
Edward.
Sounds like PCP.
That's what I'm saying. It was probably something. It probably was something other than acid, or maybe I don't know, but rough. Thank you for your submission there. That's a good story. Yeah, be safe out there if you're taking drugs. I
wouldn't discount all acid from now on. I mean, you didn't know where you got it. It was off the ground. I mean,
yeah, just don't take ground acid.
I think the blame's on you, not on the acid or whatever it was. Yeah. And I am victim blaming, yes.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't a victim. He sounded like he had a pretty good time. He was a man of the woods one night, hooked up with a cougar.
Oh, I thought this was a chick. I was like, man, she must have been some crazy shit. She's hooking up with old chicks.
Oh, man. All right. So thank you for your emails, guys. Again, email us podcastgame@gmail.com. You can give us your drug story, sex story.
Portugal people, write in.
Portugal people,
That's how that drug decriminalization is going. I mean, I know it's been going on for a while, but we're trying to get to that point.
Yeah, hopefully. All right. So we already talked about the big, Brady versus Belichick. So I got a few other verses, either ors for you, right? So first one is, I don't know if you saw this. They announced Ben Askren and Jake Paul are going to be fighting in a boxing match. What are your thoughts on that? Does that do it for you? Does that light the fire?
I mean, I just think I get it. It's about money, but eventually these dudes are gonna have to box an actual boxer.
Yeah.
I just feel like we need to get to that point. But they'll be in business. People that want to milk it for everything it's worth. That's fine. But if he beats Ben Askren, nobody's gonna fight him unless it's a professional fighter.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I think Jake Paul's gonna win this one, and then it's gonna be like, look, I beat a UFC.
I don't think he's gonna knock him out.
He might, dude. I mean, the way that Masvidal hit him with that knee, put his ass out quick. Sometimes you don't ever really truly recover from that. So it might be a little fragile,
I think Jake Paul probably does win. I'm more curious to see if it can go like past 3 rounds to see like what Jake Paul's cardio looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, all this bullshit they do, it's like knocking Nate Robinson out in the second round as opposed to going like 12, 13 rounds is way different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Also, man, I still feel bad for Nate Robinson, man. He didn't deserve that.
Fish out of water, dog.
That shit was brutal.
It was.
He was fucking out.
Yeah.
Out.
Nobody's going to remember that Superman dunk contest.
Yeah,
They're just
exactly. Right. Just remember him
floor, dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fucking Jake Paul dunking your head against the fucking canvas. Speaking of getting knocked out, did you see the McGregor fight?
I did not watch it. I seen like the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. McGregor just didn't look like he just got rich. I mean, he got rich.
Yeah, it's tough to keep the motivation. Other thing, I mentioned it too on Twitter. I was talking about the night of the fight. There's something about those when you go overseas, especially like somewhere like the Middle East, and you're fighting. Where over there it's like 7 a.m. So it can be, prime time here. It's always never turns out good for the big name. Like that's how Ronda Rousey, hers was in Australia. Same thing. They fought at like 8 a.m. in the morning. She got knocked out. Mike Tyson and the Buster Douglas was in Tokyo. It was like 11 a.m. there. So it could be 10 o'clock here.
They don't really
got knocked out.
I mean, if you're going to do it right, you got to go there a month ahead of time to it.
Correct.
It takes at least 2 weeks to adjust.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that, there's something. I think if you watched the fight before, it was Michael Chandler and Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, none of the fighters really looked great the night of the fight, and Dan Hooker looked terrible, and Michael Chandler knocked his ass out. I think Michael Chandler's the only guy that looked like legit. Like Poirier looked good, but I mean, that first round, McGregor was touching him up too, and I think Poirier's the better boxer. And then McGregor's leg just got mangled, and you could tell he kicked him right before he knocked him out. He got him with a good kick. And you saw him like his leg kind of gave out, and that's why he backed up against the fence. And he was dodging.
I didn't see the fight in McGregor. He just looked like once he was like, all right, he's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think that's exactly what happened. Once that leg was compromised, he's like, oh, I'm not getting out of this one. And then he was doing all right, like getting away. I think he was just trying to get out of the round and maybe hoping that his leg would get some juice back or a second wind or something. And then when he ducked into that punch, that was it. He literally ducked right into it. Like
Poirier, he just looked like hands of stone, dude. Just throwing these fucking big hits, dude. Having that said, like even seeing them fight and then just remembering the last Khabib fight, you're like, fuck, that dude's good.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's some rumors about GSP and Khabib. I'd like to see that.
Because boring as fuck.
I don't know. No, I mean, when GSP fought Bisping in his return fight, that was a good fight. That was an exciting fight. Now,
I think it would just be a grappling match.
No, because I think that the reason that GSP's fights were like that in the past is because I think he was at that point, no one else had wrestling like that or wrestling defense, and he could just do that. You know what I mean? I think the game's evolved enough.
Sit on people.
Exactly. And I think the game, and I mean, it's smart for him, takes no damage and just kind of, wins the fights easily. I mean, I think that was Ben Askren's plan, and we saw how that went. So I think the game's just evolved enough now where you can't do that anymore. And GSP has other skills. It wasn't like that was all he had. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'd like to see it just because, and surprisingly, I was watching some people talk about it. Khabib is technically bigger than GSP weight-wise, like walking around weight. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I guess Khabib cuts about 20 to 30 pounds to get to 155, and that's like GSP weighs like when he fought Bisping at 170, he didn't cut any weight, so he's like a little bit smaller. Which is kind of crazy because he looks like he's just a roided up animal. So, all right. So one other thing, I don't know if you've seen this because I don't know how much you've been online these last few weeks. What do you think about this King Kong versus Godzilla?
Well, I seen there's a new movie coming out or what?
Yeah, it's the trailer for Kong versus Zilla, which is like I guess they did the they had a King Kong remake, which was good. Kong Skull Island. It was with
John C. Reilly.
Yeah, John C. Reilly was good in it. Samuel L. Jackson, the girl that plays Captain Marvel, the guy who plays Loki. It was actually a decent movie. It was entertaining. And then they made 2 Godzilla movies with the chick from what do you call Stranger Things? Those and the guy from Breaking Bad. But those were terrible. Those I didn't like either of those. But I guess it's
those
like a sequel.
The Cloverfield ones or no?
No.
Feels fucking Godzilla or something.
No. It was similar, but no. But the 2 Godzilla movies were like meh. But I guess this is like coming back off of those movies. So I'm trying to find. I had a tail of tape here.
Did you watch The Little Things with Denzel on HBO
I
Max?
did. That movie sucked. We'll get to that. I have that written down
Yeah.
too. But real quick. So what do you think of this King Kong versus Godzilla? Who wins in a fight?
Oh, just straight up?
Yeah,
I
straight
thought you
up.
were gonna run a preview or something.
No.
I mean, who's bigger?
They look like they're about this here. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. There was like a tail of the tape, but I can't find it now.
Going Kong.
ESPN.
He's like a fucking human.
I mean, look, you got exactly. I think Kong has the intelligence.
He's got hands.
Godzilla's a little bit bigger, but Godzilla's also like a nuclear power plant, like a walking nuclear power plant. He shoots those fucking lasers. I mean, I don't know. So who you got? You would take King Kong. You take King Kong in the.
I think King Kong. What if Kong just picked up a big gun and shot Godzilla?
Oh man, yeah, I think the opposable thumbs come into play there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Or like Godzilla's like really dumb and he like just leads him off a mountain or something.
Yeah, or just chokes the shit out of him. Godzilla's got low reach, you know.
Yeah,
Little T-Rex arms.
yeah, right. Kong's definitely got the reach advantage.
Yeah. So they're posing it.
Just see Kong like throwing a fucking jab the whole time.
Sticking and moving. Yeah, oh man, yeah, I'll see it. Man, shit, there ain't
Fucking
shit else going
Godzilla's just
on.
trying to do tail sweeps, dude. Like some kind of fucked up Mortal Kombat or something.
Kong gets on him, puts him in the arm bar. You know, just fucking get him in a leg lock. Tap, or I'll break it. You know.
Yeah.
All right. One other thing about you mentioned The Little Things with Denzel. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I thought it was awful.
Spoiler alert. Are we gonna fucking ruin it?
I want to so that no one has to sit through it because
I mean, it was just like
terrible.
It was okay. I mean, no, I wasn't okay.
The ending was.
I just had to see the end, but then the end was like, "Are you okay with police corruption?" It's like, I guess.
Well, all right. So to break this down real quickly, it's a movie with Denzel Washington, Academy Award winner, Jared Leto, Academy Award winner, Rami Malek, Academy Award winner. That seems like a recipe for a fantastic movie. The trailer looked good. I love me some Denzel.
I mean,
he's a great actor.
Denzel just do something different. I mean, fuck, dude.
Right? It seems like
the law enforcement detached a little bit, but coming back fucking badass. I mean, how many times are they gonna make this movie?
But it seems like he wants to make
little
those
things. It's like Man on Fire. Everything.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
But I feel like he's picking. I mean, a star of his caliber, he picks those movies. It's like, why the fuck did he pick this movie? Like, so because you read the script, right? Maybe the script was amazing. I don't know, but
because he goes, oh, what's the character? Oh, all right, I don't have to read anything.
Oh, just do the same thing. Got it. Oh, you're gonna pay me how much? In there. Yeah. Okay. So real quick, so the story is there's this Denzel's a cop for somewhere in Northern California. Used to be in LA. And what
movie is it?
Yeah, exactly. And for some reason he got a divorce and a heart attack and he left the force. He comes back to LA for some weird reason to get some fucking boots with blood on them to drop them off, and he finds out there's this killer killing these women in LA. I think it was like 15 murders, and he was like, oh, maybe this is this murder from when I was working here. So he ends up unofficially like teaming up with Rami Malek and to solve this murder. And the ending is and then Jared. They think it's Jared Leto, right?
Who did a good job? He was creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. But the problem is they're so focused on it being Jared Leto, and then Rami Malek is convinced that he's the killer. And the guy is like this guy that he confessed to a murder 8 years ago that it was impossible for him to commit. He's obsessed with serial killers. He has all these clippings of murders and from the newspapers in his house. So they're fucking with this guy because they're like, this guy's the killer. He takes Rami Malek out to a field saying that, oh, the bodies are out here or whatever. And then he's like, no, I didn't do it. I'm just fucking with you. And Rami Malek hits him with a shovel and kills him. Right. And
that guy looks like a fucking serial killer anyways.
Yeah.
The cop? Jesus Christ. Yeah. I was like, from the beginning of the movie, I was like, I think he's the killer.
The whole time I was like, oh, there's going to be a twist that either Denzel or Rami Malek's the killer.
Yeah, you wait for the twist. And you're like, there's no twist.
No, there was twists, but they were unnecessary. So the twist is, So he kills Rami Malek. Denzel comes back, and he's like, "Why'd you do that?" or whatever. He's like, "Here, don't worry about it. Bury the body. I'm gonna go to his house and get rid of all his shit." And it turns out that Denzel accidentally killed a victim too in the past, and that's why he left the force. And they covered it up. So Rami Malek says, "Well, hey, when you go through his house, if there's a red beret, one of the victims, her parents said she had it in her hair, and no one else would know. This guy wouldn't know about the red beret. So if the red beret's in the house, that means he's the killer." So Denzel goes, packs all the shit up, and then Rami Malek's all depressed. He buries the guy's body because he's like, "Fuck, I killed an innocent man." He takes some time off. Denzel goes back home up north, and Rami Malek gets a package. And the package is a note, like saying, like, it says like "no angels" or something from some quote, stupid ass quote he said earlier in the movie. And inside is the red beret. So you're like, "Oh fuck, the guy was the killer." Like, oh, okay, so it's justified.
My immediate thought was like, he could have just bought that. and then
it cuts to the next scene, and sure enough, Denzel has a container, like a plastic wrapper of all these berets, and the red one's missing. So he went to a store, bought it, and sent him the red beret,
and
to make him not feel bad.
You would think, the year after the defund the police and Breonna Taylor, they might hold off when releasing this movie.
No fucking kidding. And then on top of that, so this is the thing, Rami Malek kills an innocent man, okay? Yeah. And the serial killer that's killed 15 women is still at large, and they're not even investigating anybody. Look, that's how the movie ends. I'm like, so wait, who's the killer?
And
we're never going to find out.
That, Denzel killed some chick in cold blood too, and they fucking hit it.
So the good guys in this movie are actually the bad guys. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
And there's
the cops are corrupt. Oh yeah, okay.
In a movie about,
I thought this was supposed to be fictional.
Yeah, in a movie about a man killing 15 innocent women, that guy's not even the bad guy of the movie. The bad guy of the movie is the two main characters who are cops. So. And it just sucked. On top of that, there were so many scenes. I was talking to somebody about it. There were so many scenes where there was, a group of people with Denzel, and it felt like Denzel. What you're like, oh yeah, he's the cop. Like you believe him as the character, and everyone else in the scene is just reading off a piece of paper. That's what it felt like. It was so obvious that he's just such a better actor than everyone else he was sharing the screen with. So, because there weren't a ton of scenes with him.
Jared Leto was good. He was good.
That's what I was going to say, though. But there wasn't a ton of scenes with both of them. There's only a handful of scenes with Denzel and Jared Leto together. So, but anyways, yes, I just didn't care for it, and I was pissed. I wasted fucking my time watching it.
Yeah, because it was long. It was like 2.5 hours. Or something.
It was very long, and about halfway through, I'm like, when you can you hit that moment in a movie, and you're just like, oh, this isn't very good. That happened like an hour in. Because that's what happened. Literally the first hour, Jared Leto's not in it, and then he showed up. I'm like, "Ooh, this is gonna get good now." And then it didn't, and I was like, "Oh no, this just
you're like,
sucks."
It'll pick up, and then you're like, when he kills Jared Leto, you're like, you think you think Jared Leto's gonna pull the gun from him, and then he hits him with a shovel, and he's dead, and that's it.
Yeah, he also didn't hit him.
Struggle, no nothing.
He also didn't really hit him in a way that should have killed him. He hit him with the back of the shovel, not that hard. And it was to the side of his face. What, that can kill somebody? I guess if you really fucking rung someone's bell with it, but it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? So, and it did seem, and again, you're right. That scene where they're out in the desert, he kept,
they should have took their own fucking advice. It's the little things, bud.
Yeah. Oh, they also said that 15 times in the fucking movie. That was driving me nuts. Why are we saying the title of the movie?
Yeah. And here's the inside story. The little things are how to cover up killing somebody when you're a cop.
How to get away with murder
things.
as a cop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy. So I wouldn't recommend watching that one. And if you just listen to our synopsis of it, and you're like, man, that sounds good. That's the thing. Maybe the script was good because the idea sounds all right. It's like, oh, that sounds interesting, but it's not. It's just not interesting at all. It's very boring. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. I guess this is a big thing. It's kind of hard to not talk about this with everything going on this week. Let's touch on this stock market thing a little bit. So for those not in the United States or not in the loop, there's a group of people on Reddit they saw that hedge funds were exposed by a lot of money they were shorting on these companies, GameStop.
Naked short selling, which is
yeah.
technically illegal.
Yeah.
But nobody says that.
I think one of them was like 50 million shares were only bought to short GameStop. So these people on Reddit figured this out, and they're like, hey, if we buy a shitload of stock in this, they have to buy back the stock or pay a premium. And if we get to a high enough level, they'll have to buy back.
Well, they can't because they'll have to buy back because the naked short selling is they're literally shorting the stock, which means they have to borrow stock. And when it's over 100%, they're literally counterfeiting stock to get to that point. Like it's illegal.
So the thing is, if you get to like it's I think it's 100% of the price difference. So like the stock was going for like $4 a share, and then it went up to $300-$400 a share. So you're looking at like an amount of money that these people can't pay, like billions of dollars. Like if you have 50 million shares and it goes up, what was it, 3,000%? Like you don't have $150 billion. You don't have that.
Some of the people from the Reddit group were buying their shares, and then they were saying you're not allowed to let people borrow my shares for short selling.
Yeah,
so that was even creating an even higher margin.
And that was what was driving the price up, because these people had to just buy back the stock because they couldn't afford the premium, so they had to buy back in. It was just rising. So this was happening, and then people were like, "Oh, there's other companies that do that. Nokia, BlackBerry, all these failing companies. We can just buy back. We can get the stock up and make some free money." So me and you were literally like, the day it happened, like, "Oh, this is really happening." We're texting back and forth, like, "Let's fucking do it. Let's make some cash. I'm in. I'm here for the revolution. Whatever. Fuck these hedge funds, right?" Well, that morning, a bunch of companies decided to ban the purchase of these stocks. You could only sell, which doesn't make any sense, and we're prohibiting people from buying the stocks on their sites. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because a lot of them are, so Robinhood, Webull, which is the one in China. I can't remember the other, not E-Trade, TD. A bunch of these brokerages were like, you can't buy the stock here, and which you would think would be illegal, because what it did was not enough people were allowed to buy the stock, so the stock dropped, and then those hedge funds companies were able to bail themselves out and not lose the company, basically. And then now we're hearing all week, we're getting lectures from these Wall Street people saying how we're idiots.
CNBC is just, talk about, what did I say you that? I tell you that Jimmy Kimmel, people were trashing Jimmy Kimmel last night.
All right. So yeah, Jimmy Kimmel went on his monologue yesterday and was basically calling them Reddit dorks, and then said it was probably Russian fucking hackers that did it. And
even did you see Jim Cramer kicking back on that? Some dude said it. And he was like, "Give me a break." And the dude starts laughing. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel's pronouns are hack and shill.
Because clearly it's, he's on ABC. It's clearly, whoever is in charge there wanted him to go up there and say something, so, because that's what happened. So back to what I was saying, that's what happened with Robinhood, is their brokerage firm, Melvin Capital or whatever, basically was like, "Hey, we have a huge short in this company. You have to fix this."
Well, they told Citadel, and Citadel buys your
Citadel.
information from Robinhood, so they can they'll input all the buys from the night after hours, and then they'll put it into their algorithm, and naturally the algorithm's going to see all that and then adjust, because all their shit's automated. They don't actually really buy.
Exactly, and that's how Robinhood makes their money, by selling your information.
They let Citadel front run you.
Yeah. So they know what's going up, and then they can invest their money in it. So
they say,
all kinds of shady shit
in the morning. We'll buy right before them. It'll go up, and then as soon as it goes up, we'll fucking
sell. Yeah. And that's the other thing, is like this idea that people are doing, right, to make this money on Reddit is literally the reverse of what these hedge funds do every day, forever. It's a broken system, and they're getting mad because
the Reddit people aren't insider trading, and the hedge funds are.
Correct. Yeah. They do way worse shit, but what the people are doing on this day-to-day basis, there's nothing illegal about buying stocks.
No.
Investing your money in this company. And then Robinhood was saying it was to protect the people. It's like, whoa, let's slow down here. Do you think a gambling site will not take your money because they're No, this is a business, dog. Like, how are you protecting me? I'm a grown man. I can fucking put my money wherever I like.
Oh yeah, dude. Everybody, you're not smart enough. You don't know how this is gonna go. And the funny thing is, like, they're gonna lose their money. It's like, do you not see these message boards? These people don't give a fuck about.
No, they don't.
Money,
no, they don't.
At all.
And that same for me. Like I had
Diamond hands are real, son.
yeah, yeah. And I had like so the morning that it was banned or whatever, I had like a limit order in the morning. It was like $600-$700, and I was just like, let's see what happens if it goes up to a few grand, whatever. But if that money disappeared, it's not like I'm going to be homeless. You know what I mean? Like even if I was, who are you to tell me I can't just blow that money?
Not only that, it's like they've already stripped all these people of everything. It's like you can't take away nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, exactly. For real.
That's why they don't give a fuck.
And also, like there was for the thing is the stock was just going up, so I don't know how you're protecting me from making money. And all these stories of people that were able to get out of debt. Some dude bought a fucking Tesla, and then he went to a GameStop and he bought all the Nintendo Switches they had, and he gave them to a charity. I mean, like, do you think the hedge funds are doing that shit?
And
like,
then
come
that
on.
dude, Chamath or whatever. You've seen that guy, the Indian dude?
I don't know. Oh yeah. He gave $500K to the Barstool Fund.
Yeah, he bought all these shares in GameStop, made a shit ton of money, and then just donated all the money.
Yeah, to the Barstool Fund. So I mean,
yeah, shout out to Stuli Presidente or whatever, because you get a lot of respect for him this week.
Yeah, $15 million too to small businesses around the
yeah,
country too.
Tweet, so. He was like, "I see you're following me now, Vlad. I'm fucking coming for you."
Yeah.
Damn. Son.
I mean, I got into a little bit of a Twitter argument with someone the other day about Barstool, about things that happened in their past and reasons they don't like them or whatever. And it's like, look, I get it, like, but I don't understand why people can't separate like the two things. Like, yeah, you don't have to, like, just because I like some content of something doesn't mean I totally agree with everything they've ever done in their life. You know what I mean? Like, or everything they've ever said. Like,
I like my iPhone, but I don't agree with child slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. You know what I mean?
Have that iPhone, dog.
You can separate the two things. Now, on the other side, if you don't like somebody because of those things, I totally respect that and understand that. But you shouldn't look down on me because I find stuff funny, or like I enjoy watching videos of things, or a few of their podcasts that I listen to their Red Sox podcast. Those people had nothing to do with these controversial things. I mean, to say like the whole company, I mean, and look at it. And also this dude's raised $15 million to these small businesses, and people are like, yeah, it doesn't make up for the few times that he said insensitive comments. And
fuck
it's like,
yourself.
Yeah, it's like, okay, do you think that the company that's able to keep their lights on cares about those insensitive comments?
It's like, how about if he gave you the $15 million? Well, yeah.
And again, they're not perfect. Like one of my favorite podcasts up until a year ago, which it isn't around anymore, was Mixtape. It was on Barstool, and that is not a podcast anymore directly because of Dave Portnoy. So them comments he made about Colin Kaepernick, were very offensive to this one of the guys on the show who was black, and he got a lot of shit for being part of the company, and he ended up parting ways with Barstool, and that fucking sucks because that guy is fantastic. He's funny, very talented. You lose that talent, and it for the fans, you lose that show is gone now. So I mean that really sucked. So like I said, you can't. And again, like if you don't like it, that's fine, but you can't tell me not that I'm a bad person because I think Barstool is funny.
Did you see that one? I don't know what chick it was that tweet about like Brady and then him liking Trump and then Kaepernick being like a greatest quarterback of all time. Some shit. Like,
listen to this shit, right? This is gonna crack you up. So today, was Super Bowl media day. So usually it's like the media row, and there's hundreds of reporters, and they're mingling with the players. I don't get fined. Yeah, exactly. And there's usually like some people there asking crazy questions and dressed up and asking Brady to marry them and stuff, right? So this year is all on Zoom. So Brady went on there today, and they were answering some questions. So he got some interesting questions about Super Bowl, and he's like, yeah, this one's different than the other 9 I was in, which is a nice little flex. And then, but he did ignore a question about Belichick. Someone asked him a 2-parted question. The second part was if Belichick had reached out to him and spoke to him this season, and he ignored it. He didn't answer that. And then this was a question he seriously got today at Super Bowl media day. You ready for this question? Hey, Tom, do you think if you were black, you'd have gotten more criticism for supporting Donald Trump in 2016?
What?
Tom,
what kind of question is that?
First of all, you had 4 years to ask him this question. You're going to ask it on Super Bowl media day. You get one question. That's what you're going to ask. Like,
I don't even know what kind of circular logic that is.
Also, Brady answered it. He goes like, I don't know how to answer that hypothetical question, because it's like, do you think he's going to answer that? Because either way, he answers it, he's going to get shit. If he says, no, I don't think I would have gotten any criticism, they'd be like, oh, he's tone deaf. He doesn't get it. He's an idiot. If he says, yeah, I think that I would have got more criticism when I was black, he was like, oh, see, he knows he has white privilege. There would have been something. There's no right answer to that.
What's the objective of that? Like, what are they trying to say?
Well, exactly. What do you want answer do you want from that? Like, all right, so let's say he was black and he wore a MAGA hat, or he said he was a Trump supporter. Sure, I'm sure he would have got more criticism. Like, I think that's a pretty
but why
reasonable thing.
Why more criticism?
Because I think if you look at some of the players in the NFL specifically, I think that the kneeling for the anthem, that kind of stuff, I think that to be like, fuck you guys, kind of like a fuck you to the rest of the league. But I don't think it would have been anything like, crazy. Like the one guy was Eric Reed. Not Eric Reed. Eric Reed was the other guy that got fucked over because he was kneeling. There was one guy that was a MAGA guy, a black NFL player that was a MAGA guy who got some shit for that. But at the end of the day, who fucking cares who you vote for president? You know what I mean? Like, who fucking, that's so crazy. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, fucking Hispanic.
Yeah.
Who cares? But
he's the golden boy. Nothing can touch him, okay?
But also, why? I just don't get that question on Super Bowl Media Day, dog. You had 4 years to ask that question. 4 years.
Because
4 years.
He's fucking journalist.
5 years.
Trump's gone, dude, and they're still just, what do they talk about now?
Yeah. I mean, they've found fucking things to bitch about. It's just so crazy to me, dude. Now it's back to the bullshit like when Obama was in office and they're like, he's wearing a tan suit. Can you believe this shit? He's wearing a tan suit. It's back to that kind of shit, man. So
not only that, Brady's just so prepared and everything. He'd be like, actually, what you don't know is I have 10 adopted black kids that you guys don't know about. And I'm just such a badass that I didn't tell anybody about it. Like, what? Yeah, that's right. I actually own a small country in Africa. That's right. The wrong wording on that one.
Yeah. Oh boy. One other thing is sticking with the Super Bowl. And like I said, we'll get more into it on our picks this week. I want to credit to you. A little shout out to you. You correctly picked. I went back and looked at it. You had Bucks Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and you had Chiefs winning. And I had Seahawks. I had the Seahawks beating the Bucks. And then losing to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So we both had the Chiefs winning. We'll see if that stands true when we make our picks on Wednesday. Cool Man is going to come back on Wednesday and do the picks with us.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He was asking for it, so he's going to come on. I think this will be a good one for him because he likes those the over unders, and so how we're going to do it this week. We're going to do the spread.
Still holding the title, but thin margin.
Yeah, you're up by one. You're up by one. So on me, and I think you're up by 2 on Tucker. So I had a perfect week, so that helped a little bit. So we're gonna do the regular spread, the over under, and then we have 3 prop bets. You can pick whatever 3 you want, or we can do you pick whatever 2 you want, and then we do heads or tails on the coin flip. It's up to you. We'll talk about it more and we'll hammer it out for Wednesday. But
really trying to get that one win with the coin flip.
I mean, who knows? That's 50-50. Best odds you're gonna get, So. Also, you got I love the Super Bowl because of all the crazy prop bets. You got will this guy have over 1.5 catches, or I think there's always one. It's they pick the third string running back. It's over a half a yard. It's will he come in for one play, or one of my favorite ones is will more
Le'Veon
than 2
playing?
I'm not sure.
Le'Veon? Who's on there? Yeah, it is Le'Veon, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's playing. They have Le'Veon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Williams, Darrell Williams. But one of my favorite ones every year, it's always how many players will throw a pass in the game, and it's over 2.5. So it's if a third wide receiver throws a pass or the backup quarterback has to come in, you win the bet. So we'll talk about all that stuff on Wednesday. What else you got going on? Anything else before we get out of here?
Talk about Robin Hood. Oh, we got to talk about Screech, old Diamond Dick.
Yeah. R.I.P. Dusty D.
Dustin Diamond's dick's dead.
Yeah. So earlier today, Dustin Diamond lost his battle with cancer. He's only 44, which is crazy to me. Which, if you didn't know, Dustin Diamond was, he was Screech on Saved by the Bell. Had lung cancer and died here in Florida.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of crazy news today. Did you see that that senator. What the fuck? Is that me?
What?
Oh.
What happened with the senator?
He got caught like grooming John Weaver or something. Got caught grooming young men when they were
Jesus
14.
Christ. Shocker.
And then also Marilyn Manson has been accused of some sexual harassment against women, which I did not expect.
Women? Whoa.
It says Evan Rachel Wood and at least 4 of the women make allegations of abuse against Marilyn Manson.
I mean, I guess I could see that. He seems like he's into some weird shit.
Well, when he was hanging me from the ceiling, he was really hitting me hard. It's like, what the fuck do you expect me getting into
bed with Marilyn Manson? Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So I'm looking at Dusty D's list of accomplishments here. He was in a lot of shit other than Saved by the Bell.
And that porno.
So that's what I was gonna say. So looking at some other stuff, he was in that porno in 2006. He directed and released his own sex tape called "Screeched," Saved by the Smell. Initially, Diamond claimed the sex tape got out because he and some buddies have a monthly gathering wherein they exchange such tapes, which earn points based on what we're able to accomplish on the tapes. We do it almost like poker. Could have been left out in anybody's home, machine, computer. The people that are involved in this group of friends who exchange tapes are all profile people. However, several years later, Diamond stated in an interview on Oprah that he was not actually in the sex tape. Rather, a stunt double had his likeness added onto it. So,
did you see that billionaire crying on CNBC? That was funny.
Yeah. Well, I sent that to you. I was saying we were talking about the show, but real quick, 2003, he bought a house in Wisconsin, and in 2001, he filed for bankruptcy. 2014, he was arrested for possession of a switchblade, which he alleged was to have pulled during a bar altercation in which a man was stabbed. I remember that. I think he did some jail time for that. Yeah, 2 misdemeanors, concealed weapon, disorderly conduct. He's 4 months in jail. Yeah, so he did some jail time.
I don't know what this news story is, but I'm just gonna read the title.
Okay, go ahead.
Scientists have taught spinach to send emails. I don't know what that means, dude.
I'm breaking that down. All right, so this is my question, right? These scientists, right? They get funding to do these research. Why? You know how much money that probably costs to teach spinach how to send an email? What are we doing?
Spinach has been engineered to send emails when it finds specific compounds.
All right.
This tech could be used to detect landmines, pollution. Those are 2 polar opposites. And even upcoming droughts, as well as landmines. We're mainly interested in the landmines.
What? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know why I thought of this, but have you seen there's this Twitter page. Now I gotta fucking find it. There's this Twitter page. You know the guy Daniel Craig? He's the current James Bond. He's the guy that plays James Bond.
Have you seen the girl with the dragon tattoo?
Yeah, he's in that as well. Yeah.
What's that? Is it good?
Yeah, real good. I think there's 2 of them. There's like the Swedish version. I don't even know if it's Swedish. There's a European version, and then there's an American version. The American version, I think, is the one that's shit. One of them is shit. I don't remember which one is. But there's this Twitter page, and it's called "Ladies and Gentlemen, The Weekend," and it says Daniel Craig reminds you that the weekend is here every Friday evening, and for the past looks like since July, every Friday night, this account that currently has 72,000 followers and is following one person. It's Daniel Craig. The last week's video has 3.2 million views, and this is the video. So let me play this for you here. This is every Friday this account posts this. This is the only thing it posts.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
That's it.
That's it. Just letting you know the weekend's here from Daniel Craig. So I somehow stumbled across that on the internet. I'm like, what? So he's introducing the singer, The Weeknd,
yeah,
on Saturday Night Live, and then he lets you know the weekend's coming every Friday. So Funny stuff. Anything else before we get out of here?
So I got
Any more plant sending emails?
No. Some of these fucking headlines are just bananas. Something about Wendy's fucking the Dave Thomas circle. No more.
The Dave Thomas circle. Is that like a weird sex thing?
DC is using eminent domain to seize the Wendy's in the middle of one of the city's most infamous intersections.
Oh, did you see Myanmar or Myanmar, however you say it? They had a fucking
Yeah,
coup.
they
They
had a
just
coup.
took over. Yeah.
Thai people are very fond of Myanmar people.
No.
No, not at all. There's been a genocide going on in that country for years now, killing all the Rohingya Muslims. Pretty wild shit. All perpetrated by Facebook, by the way, too.
Let's not go throw around these crazy accusations. You don't want Mark Zuckerberg on your ass.
Fuck Mark
Maybe
Zuckerberg.
you do. I don't know.
Fuck all them.
Thinking, every time I hear his name, I think of that picture of him on that surfboard. That fucking ghost
Jesus
face.
Christ, dude. That fucking guy. Him and all those fucking dudes.
All right, let's get out of here. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Scam_podcast. Follow us on Twitch, Scam_podcast. Again,
Portugal people,
guys,
write us in.
Yeah, Portugal people.
Tell us what's up.
Podcastscam@gmail.com. Again, thank you for the support. We really do appreciate it. I think that's our first little milestone, right? Getting on the iTunes charts. That's milestone number one.
Was it the iTunes charts? Is that where that's from?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. First time on iTunes. So thank you so much for that. And guys, keep downloading, keep telling your friends. We've had a really good again, like I said, we didn't even put out an episode, a traditional regular episode in about 2 weeks. We had one picks episode for conference week championship weekend last week, and downloads were as high as they've been the last week or so. So thank you so much for that. But we need some subscribers on this YouTube. For some reason, we cannot get the YouTube going. I think it's the algorithm. I think since we have such a low following on there, it just doesn't pop up for people.
Yeah, I'm just giving up on the YouTube. Fuck the YouTube.
Yeah, I'll still keep putting them out, obviously. But
if you want to watch it, but
go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like I said, it's 2 words, Scam Podcast, and follow us on Twitch. We get for crazy thing. We get followers on Twitch from the podcast, which is crazy to me. I'm sorry that right now I've only been playing NHL. I know some people, they've tuned in just to talk to me for a little while, and they're like, "Yeah, not a hockey person, so I can't watch this." So
sorry, I hate to touch on this again, but do you know who Evan Rachel Wood is?
Evan Rachel Wood, that name sounds so familiar.
I'm looking at a picture of her and Marilyn Manson. She's the chick from Westworld. What is she doing banging Marilyn Manson?
Dude, that is the chick from Westworld. Wow.
I mean, this picture of Marilyn Manson makes me want to throw up. And then you look at her and you're like, huh?
Let's see. All right, so she dated Jamie Bell in 2005, who's an actor. In 2007, she was dating Marilyn Manson. She was inspiration behind the song Heart-Shaped Glasses and appeared in the song's music video. 2010, they were engaged to be married, and the engagement ended 7 months later. In 2011, she disclosed that she was bisexual. Yikes. Here we go. In 2016, Wood told a Rolling Stone reporter that she had been raped twice, many years ago, once by a significant other, I'm assuming that's the Marilyn Manson thing, and another time by a bar owner. She stated that she still suffered from these experiences and that she did not believe we live in a time where people can stay silent any longer. She was recalling her past to help other survivors of domestic abuse. In 2019, she testified in front of California Senate about her experiences in order to help pass the Phoenix Act. After the testimonies, media speculated that Wood's abuser was Marilyn Manson, with whom she was in a relationship with. In 2020, Manson cut short an interview with the British music magazine Metal Hammer when he was asked about Wood's testimony. In 2021, Wood and 4 other women, Ashley Walters, Sarah McNeely, Ashley Lindsay Morgan, that name sounds familiar too, and Gabriella Acarino, publicly named Marilyn Manson as their abuser. The name of the abuser is Brian Warner, also known in the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I'm done living in fear of slander or blackmail. I'm here to expose the dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives.
Who would have thought?
Not great.
From a guy that got his name from fucking Charles Manson. Was,
Yeah, but
Fucking
I mean, he just seems so family friendly and wholesome.
I know. I've
would've
never
guessed
seen this
it.
coming.
Do you remember those fucking rumors that do you ever hear those rumors in like middle school that he like took his ribs out so he could suck his own dick?
Now I definitely don't believe it when you can just make people do it.
Oh, he took their ribs out.
Yeah. Right. All right.
All right, we'll close on that note. We'll be back Wednesday for Super Bowl picks, and then we're gonna start trying to be a little bit more consistent. I know that I got a few different emails about or comments on Twitter about that. So we'll try to be a little more consistent. We'll start coming out every Monday, and then also we have some emails from some listeners that want to be on the show. So I think we'll maybe do an episode coming up soon where we'll just have a bunch of guests on, a bunch of listeners, and just see what they're about, and go from there. Yeah, why not? So thank you everybody for listening, tuning in. And like I said, we'll be back Wednesday for Super Bowl picks. So go Bucks. Later.
Peace.